Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoyed these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate the gesture, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, this is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Explorer II 16570. F-code serial number. This one was made in 2003 and it was the first of the solid lugs without the aperture for the strap tool. Well into the era of solid end-link bracelets and Luminova, this is a timepiece that has the look and the feel of a vintage Rolex while still having the durability, wearability, water resistance, and condition you associate with modern, late-model pre-owned watches. It's a wonderful blend of old and new, and you can see it is a slim watch featuring no rotating bezel. It's only 12.1 millimeters thick. It's a 40 millimeter watch, so substantially more compact than the later 42 millimeter 6-digit watch. Lug to lug, it's nicely constrained at 47.8, but even when you include the solid end links of the bracelet, it's only 50.5 millimeters. If you wish to accessorize with the strap, no holes in the lugs, but you can still accessorize with straps. It is a 20 millimeter spacing, and these old 5-digit cases look more natural on aftermarket straps than the later watch. You will note that the bracelet is a piece with a CL code, so 2004, the bracelet and watch likely joined at the time of shipment to the original retailer, and it's 78790A bracelet. As you can see, solid end links. Back then there were still hollow center links. All of satin finish. The Explorer II has been a more muted finish compared to its kissing cousin, the GMT. Polished flanks, that's the only place you'll see the polish. The removable links sized with screws. Clamshell closure. Back then the Oyster clasp was still stamped. Let me see if I can show you and thus verify the claims I've made about the inscriptions inside the bracelet. Excellent condition, clean, crisp, sharp tolerances. Back then, apertures for your strap tool for precisely sizing within the clasp. The Oyster clasp remaining sharp with crisp tolerances, and you can see the definition of the link embossed pattern as well as the raised Rolex crown. Always a canary in the coal mine for an over-finished watch. You can see this one retains all of its original metal. Now, speaking of original metal, note how even the lugs are and full the lugs are. The creases are sharp. There's a clear transition and remnants of the original factory beveling on the edges of the lugs, and that's really the holy grail for an older Rolex, is evidence of the factory beveling still present and correct. And here you can see the transitional surface, which used to be laid down by hand at the Rolex factory, still present and correct. Satin on the top, polished on the flank, simple, thin caseband, elegant. And it features that characteristic 70s style radial sunburst grain on the bezel. The bezel, another one of those indicators to let you know whether the watch has been treated well and kindly preserved over the years, in that the lacquer inside the wells for the triangular indices and the numerals tends to diminish as these things get worn out or refinished, and you'll see here everything intact as much as the day it left Geneva. You'll also note the specialized radial grain finish, which is very difficult to recreate, present and correct, with a polished lip to the bezel edge, still crisp and gleaming. The dial, oh, the Polar dial, I love it. It's my favorite Explorer II dial. Some folks are all about the dark dials. Those are the folks who are 1655 purists. Their ideal Explorer II is a Steve McQueen orange arrow needle hand. For me, it has to be either the cream dial or the Polar white. All black hands, black indices, high contrast, actually easier to read in any light, especially in severe light than the black dial. This one actually has higher contrast, and it better accommodates the white date disc, as the date as well as the Cyclops eye sort of blend in and disappear on the Polar dial. So it's a better blend of the date, if you're going to have a date, and dial. It even makes the Cyclops eye vanish. Of course, high contrast red 24-hour style hand. This is the caliber 3185. Automatic winding 48-hour power reserve. It is a true dual time, so you can adjust that local time independently of the 24-hour format reference time. The Explorer II, originally designed in the 70s for cave dwellers, it didn't become a true dual time with independently settable local hours until the 1980s. But you have that functionality here. You also have hacking or stop seconds, so you can synchronize to a reference time. 48 hours power reserve, automatic winding bidirectional, 100 meters water resistant twin lock crown Oyster case back, 31 joules, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, Free-sprung balance with a full balance bridge for toughness, overcoil hairspring to keep superb timing condition, I should say, in any orientation with respect to gravity, the better to earn that COSC certificate. A timepiece that represents the best of old and new, a modern Explorer II that, nevertheless, because of its size and bracelet vintage, feels like something far older, a link between Rolex's glorious past and its luxury present. You can see and own this Explorer II 5-digit on the watch box. Another advantage of late production 5-digit Explorer II's, superluminova dials. See it and make it yours on the watch box.